Alright, how's everybody doing today? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the new Ford that came out just today. I think they're actually starting to release them and you can actually place reservations for the new Ford Mustang right now. Now, I'm going to be making this video talking about why Ford cannot compete, at least short term, with Tesla. They're not even in the same ball game. I'm going to be telling you why. Basically, a lot of there's been a lot of videos on YouTube like comparing the two cars and stuff like that. I want to give my 2 cents on it and basically take a look at both of these vehicles and tell you exactly why they don't even touch Tesla, man. They do not even get close, in my opinion, right now. Most of it is in terms of the technology side of it. I'm not talking about the materials of the car and stuff like that, but I'm strictly talking about like the tech in the cars, right? So right before we jump into it, if you haven't already, make sure to sign up for Webull. If you sign up right now, you're gonna get 4 free stocks just by depositing $100. So that's already a great return on your money. If you haven't done that already and you live in the US, definitely click the link down below and sign up for Webull. You'll get and 2 of those free stocks will be worth up to $1,600. Can be up to that much, so make sure you do that if you haven't already. I have a link down below. So basically, if you guys didn't know, Ford released their Mach E. They actually announced it like a few months ago, but I guess today you can reserve one part of their vehicle. Now I have both the websites pulled up now, right? So let's take a look at the Model Y, which is probably the car that's going to be competing with the Mustang Mach E, right? So let's go to the Model Y. Boom, we have it right here and we can order it. Now let's go to the Ford site. I guess you have to go here and then right here and actually start placing your order. So I'm going to take a look at the two and see why they don't, like, it's not even that close of a competition, man, in terms of the tech and actually buying the car. So right here, like, you already have to put a dealer, like, it's kind of a hassle. Like, they have a pretty outdated site, but the only one I believe that you can actually buy is the GT model right now, which is $60,000. Now, I'm going to be taking a look at the cheapest model. We're going to be comparing it with the cheapest because that's probably the most, like, feasible option, right? If you can afford $60, then there's a lot of other cars you can afford, but there's not a lot of cars that are electric that are in the 42K range. So that's particularly what we're going to look at. Now, first things first, let's look at that it's not going to be coming out for a little while. It says available starting late 2020, but it's still not even out yet. Like, you can't even reserve this car yet. You can only reserve the GT. So let's do this and then let's go to, or I think you might actually be able to go on like a waiting list or something, because it did let me go in this option. But let's take a look at the long range all-wheel drive, because that's the one that Tesla's competing with. All right, I'm going to take the cheapest Model Y, long range. Let's do that, all-wheel drive, and I believe the long range is all-wheel drive. Yep, all-wheel. And let's choose the white color and the white color. I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter, it's both included. Interior, boom, okay, it's all good. Now, the thing with this car is that a lot of people are saying that it can like, it'll be a big competition towards the Model Y. Now, it might be with the niche market that really loves Ford, that you're not gonna, like, in the market to buy an electric car, but you might do it just because you love Mustangs and stuff like that. Now, it's such a different car than a Mustang that I almost wish that they just called it the Mach E and they didn't put the Mustang line into it. But I mean, if that's what it takes, I mean, you can tell they're pretty desperate to put their Mustang line on it. But either way, okay, so this is the Model Y right here. Let's take a look at the autopilot. Like, it has included autopilot, right? Included autopilot, and it costs 48K. Let's take a look at, this is the autopilot. Like, it doesn't even come with autopilot within the actual car, so I guess we have to add that to it to have the same type of, like, Tesla comparison. So the cheapest one is 49 with autopilot, right? 49K. The cheapest Tesla is 48K, right? Okay, let's take a look at how much. Okay, so it's 42 and then with the options. So let's take 43 without the autopilot or 48 with the autopilot. This is MSRP. Like, you can't just go to the dealership. If you go to the dealership, they're probably going to try to upsell you on stuff. Like, it's pretty annoying, right? Actually going to dealerships like Ford and stuff, they're most likely going to try to sell you warranties and stuff like that, which Tesla, you literally go to a Tesla dealership, they give you the keys and they give you a tour of the car, and that's it. There's not a single thing that they will try to sell you, no warranties, none of that. Like, I don't even think Tesla offers any of that. They just have it included with the price. Tesla's warranty, I believe, is like 8 years, but Ford is only 4 years. It might be 6 for the actual battery, but it's definitely a few years less than Tesla, so already the warranty is worse. But let's look at, like, they make it so difficult. Like, I don't know exactly, like, it doesn't tell me the range. Like, it does not tell you the range of this car. Like, they make the website so bad. Okay, here we go. Targeted EPA range 211 miles. Model Y, we have to go all the way back here. The Model Y range is 326, man. You're getting, okay, so basically, if you don't know electric cars, basically, I think like 10 to 20% is varied. Like, for example, 211 is targeted. It's not even the official range yet. So let's say with driving like uphill and stuff like that, or even driving normally, if you drive very conservatively, you'll get 326. If you drive conservatively, you'll get 210. So if you drive like a normal person, you're probably gonna get under 200 miles on a close to $50,000 car. You're 40 to 50K, you're not gonna get 200 miles. With a Tesla, you're getting over 300 miles. Now, the thing about this is that not only is it cheaper by a few thousand, you get better warranty and stuff like that, right? But unless you hate the design of the Tesla Model Y, which fair enough, there's almost not much of a point to go with this. If you look at like the tech behind it, right? The autopilot is not even close to where Tesla is. Basically, if you don't know how autopilot works, is that Ford's is not out yet, right? It's not gonna be out for another 6 months, and even if it is, we don't know how good it is, stuff like that. But the way autopilot works is that it's AI. If you don't know what AI is, basically if one car drives on the road, it's collecting data from that one car. So you need a lot of Mach E's on the road collecting data to improve the basically the autopilot. You can't have autopilot. You can't like, I can't start a business with 10 guys and just create autopilot. Like, you need a lot of people. You need thousands at least of vehicles driving. If you don't know how Google does it, I think Google just has the same car drive 24/7 all the time, and then they have like many others as well. But they've been doing it for years. So they've slowly been developing it. Let's look at the amount of miles Tesla vehicles have, right, for autopilot. They're projected to be about 5 billion miles on the road in like beginning of next year, right? That is a lot of miles. Now, Ford would literally have to spend, I don't know how many, maybe a decade, man, to have enough data that Tesla has to improve its autopilot. Like, you're not even gonna get close to that. And the thing is, if you buy the Mach E, a lot of the reasons why Teslas are so high in demand, right, is that you can't get a used one. Like, used Teslas are basically non-existent for the last 5 years. You can get really old Model S's that don't have autopilot, which are pretty cheap. But the new Model 3s and Model Ys since 2017, 2018, like, you basically are paying, you might as well buy a brand new one. Like, it's literally the same price if you get a used one or a new one. And the reason is because their autopilot is always improving. Their like tech is always improving. They constantly have updates and stuff like that. Most likely, these cars are gonna have very slow updates, man. It's Ford at the end of the day, and these cars are, I'm pretty sure their value is gonna be down the roof. Like, in 2 years time, this 50K car is probably gonna be worth under 30K. I can almost guarantee you that. But if you buy this Tesla in like 3 years, this Tesla, you can probably sell it for 42K. Like, for sure, you're probably gonna buy this for 50K. You'll get 42K almost for sure for this car. Now, that's the thing, like, people are probably gonna buy used ones. If you see the i3 BMW, they tried to release an electric car, right? Those cars are trash. Like, you can pay 8K and get a i3 BMW electric, right? Like, those cars are one of the worst depreciating cars in the world, and cars get value, right, by actually retaining that. Like, if you know Apple products, they're one of the best that if you buy an iPhone or if you buy $1,000 MacBook, you could probably sell that $1,000 MacBook for like 800 a year later. Like, those those quality products that are in demand, it actually shows. And I don't see Ford like doing that at all. You're getting almost like less than 200 miles with the Ford. Imagine that. You can't even travel from like LA to Vegas with 200 miles in a single charge. Like, why would you pay more money to get a third less range, right? Like, it's not that worth it. So especially with that, I don't see it being a thing. Now, this is a pretty interesting article that came out today. Software is years ahead of competition, giving huge advantage over like legacy automakers like Ford and stuff. Basically, talking about how they're so many years ahead with their autopilot and stuff like that, and that's really like the main thing with Tesla. Now in terms of a vehicle, yeah, there's gonna be probably a lot of people that buy a Ford instead of a Tesla, I suppose, but the amount of like market that's like highly available for that isn't there, in my opinion. Like I said, the software revenue in terms of like Ford having any type of like detrimental like competition to like their company itself, it's not going to be there, in my opinion. Like it's not even going to be as big as a Apple Samsung type of thing. Like it's going to be a lot smaller, in my opinion. It's for the near term. Like in 5 to 10 years, who knows, but in the next few years for sure, like they're not getting touched, right? Even though a lot of people are talking about it right now, I don't think the Ford Mach E will attract that much attention, man. I do not think that'll happen, especially since like people who like Mustangs, they're not just gonna buy this because they like Mustangs, in my opinion. Some of them might, but most of them, it means such a different car that the branding is there, but I mean, we just gotta wait and see. But I don't think they can compete at all, especially since they're still such an old, like, the way they do things is so old school that they're still like years behind. You can just tell, even from their website, how outdated it is. Like, you still have to pick a dealership, go pick it up at a certain dealership, and then like even the price you see on screen is probably not going to be the price they charge you. Like once they charge you with their like dealer fees and stuff, it's probably going to be even more. So who knows. So thank you guys for watching. That's why I think personally, like the new Ford cannot touch Tesla, in my opinion. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.